Good morning, world. I am Judy, your web based therapist, making therapy accessible and convenient for our clients in Florida and New York, and of course, sharing information worldwide. Today, I am revisiting another old video. The last week, I posted the one on reasons why people get divorced after long marriages, like 30, 20, 40 years and stuff. But today, I want to talk about 5 tips, 5 relationship maintenance tips that can help with this proverbial 7-year itch, which every 7 to 10 years, as I mentioned, we're growing, we're evolving. And it's not one of those things where you beat the 7-year itch now and you're done. Every 7 to 10 years, we are growing and evolving. And it's important that as we are growing, we are continuing to do things to help us stay connected to our partners and our relationships. So that's what we're talking about today. But before I get into that, I want to take a moment and say, if you are subscribed, thank you so much for being a part of our awesome world. If you're not yet subscribed, please take a moment and click the subscribe button below so you can join all this awesomeness. And remember to tick the bell so you are notified when I post new videos so you don't miss anything. And of course, if you'd like to purchase 1 or 3 of my books, also a link below that will take you to a site that shows you all your different options for where you could get 1 or 3 of my books. All right, let me get back to it. First thing is to make it a point to stay a couple. A lot of times, once you get into the relationship, especially after children start to enter the picture, sometimes couples can settle into a life or a family life that does not necessarily take into account the couple, the needs of the couple, the relationship of the couple. We become a family, we become everything else, and we stop being that couple that started the whole thing. It's important that you're making sure that you are staying a couple, you're doing couple things, you're making time for one another, you're doing the things that got you, you're having those conversations, you're communicating about those little things that used to get you excited about each other. You're sneaking away and having that, those exciting moments that you used to have before you were a family, before you had responsibilities and all these things. Yes, there is life happening. There are a lot of things that are going on. But it's important that in addition to life, children, career, and all these things, that you are also making time, creating a space to intentionally do the things to help you stay a couple. Because eventually the children will grow and get and leave. Careers will maybe phase out because you'll decide to retire or whatever it is. All those responsibilities, eventually they may fade, but it's the relationship that you nurtured and kept that will be with you. So in order to have that relationship stay with you, in order to continue knowing and being excited about your relationship and your partner, it's important that even in the busyness of life, even in the everything that is going on, that you are taking time out to be that couple that started the whole thing, to be that couple that got excited about the whole thing. And to be that couple that you're going to be excited about being in, 20, 30 years when the kids are gone. The second is to make sure that you're scheduling time for each other. Life gets busy, especially when you have, once you have more, once you have a child, life gets busy. Once you start having more than one child and they're different ages and they have different activities, life gets super busy. But even in that, it's important that you're scheduling time for each other. Because a lot of times people have this idea that we're going to find the time, we'll sneak away here, we'll sneak a minute there. It usually doesn't happen. It's important that you're scheduling that time, that you're making it a point to, hey, whatever it is that you're going to be doing, whether you're doing a date night. I love date nights because date nights make you are intentional. But it's not one of those things where you're like, okay, we'll have a date night when we get a chance. No, you schedule a date night. We're going to have a date night on Monday. And you schedule things because when you schedule them, you're better able to plan for them, because it's not enough to say, hey, we're having a date night and we're just going to sit in the couch and fall asleep. When you schedule a date night, you plan it. Okay, what are we doing? Are we watching a movie? Are we going out? Are we doing this? Because you have a date night scheduled, you can make sure that if you need a babysitter, you plan that. If you need to go get a movie, rent, what do you call? Oh, people don't go get movies anymore. If you need to, whatever it is you may need to do, that you plan it so that when your date time comes, you're not just, oh, okay, we're here. What are we doing? No, you have a plan. You have something exciting, something grown up to do. Make sure that you schedule it. And when you schedule it, write it down because we respond so much better to things that are written down than things that are in the back of our mind. Okay, we got to do this. No, schedule it, write it down so that when something else comes up, hey, I'm busy that day. Making sure that you're scheduling time for each other ensures that you get that time as a couple. It's not enough that you pass each other in the bedroom or throughout the house throughout the day. It's important that you're making sure that you're taking the time, that intentional time, to be together as a couple, to stay knowing and communicating and have those silly conversations that make you laugh and that make you wonder, and all these exciting conversations that you had when you were dating. You need to still be having those conversations. And the way you make time for them is by scheduling that time for yourselves as a couple. The third thing is to partake in activities that are of interest to your partner. Yes, there are things that we do as a couple because, hey, these are a couple things that we do. There are things we do as a family. But it's also important to make sure that you're taking time to engage in some of your partner's interests. As you're doing that, they're enjoying this thing that they already enjoy because, hey, this is their thing. And you're also piggybacking on there because they're associating the moment of enjoyment with being with you. Yes, the activity benefits too because they enjoy being with you, and when they get to share that moment with you, it makes it that much better. It makes the activity that much better. But unless it is something that is an absolute dread, you don't have to do every one of them. You don't have to do them all the time. It's just important that once in a while, you both take times to do things that are of interest to the other person. Maybe one of you likes movies and you go to the movies with the person who enjoys movies because that's what they enjoy. Unless it's unless it physically hurts to go to the movies. Once in a while, do it for them. Your partner enjoys going antiquing. Once in a while, you can do that. You don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it all the time. And you definitely don't have to do all their interests. But once in a while, pick something because it shows a level of care that you're taking the time to engage with them. You're taking the time to do this thing with them, for them. But it also gives you an opportunity to see them in a different environment, to see them in the midst of something that they're excited about in a way that you may not necessarily see when you're doing other things, when you're doing family things. So make sure that you're taking time to partake in each other's individual interests. The other thing that's important is to nurture your common interests. Because you didn't just happen to, hey, yeah, we're in love, we're married, we're this, we have children, and you bonded over certain things. You bonded over common interests. And just because you are now in a relationship, you have responsibilities, you have children, you have life, doesn't mean you let those go, because those are part of the glue that helps keep you together. Make sure that you are taking time to nurture those interests. If you met at a ballroom dancing class, or maybe that was one of the activities that you guys did because that was something that you were both interested in when you first met, make time to partake in that once in a while. It's not going to be every day. It's not going to be every week because you have life, you have responsibilities, you have all these things that occupy your time. But it's important that you're taking the time to continue to nurture those things that you guys had in common, to continue to nurture those things that got the whole thing started, because that's what you're going to have when all the responsibilities start to fade out, when the kids start to go out, start to leave the house. It's those things that you are going to bond over. It's those things that are going to continue to hold you together, that you're going to connect over. So make sure that you're nurturing those things and making great date night activities, right? Make sure that you're making time for nurturing those common interests. And finally, learn together. There are so many benefits to learning with your partner. Starting with, again, over the 7 to 10 years, you're growing. As you're learning, you're growing. This gives you an opportunity to grow together. It also gives you an opportunity to develop a new common interest. And as you're growing, as you're learning, there are things about you that change. There are things about you that you notice, and there are things about your partner that will change, and you will be able to notice and you'll be able to experience that with them. Learning with someone is it's a profound experience. It's something you have to the best way to understand it is to do it. When you're learning with someone, oh, when your partner gets to teach you something, it's also there's something really cool about having your partner teach you something. No, don't have your partner teach you to drive if you know they have a short temper but teaching each other something fun. Those things can create a bond that is unmatched, something that you can't get from other activities. So it community schools, I know locally here, our community schools sometimes have community educator where they have different classes for people in the community. Take one of those classes, take a ballroom dancing class, take a cooking class, take a whatever. Find opportunities to learn together. Quick recap. 1, make it a point to stay a couple. Do couple things, spend time together as a couple, so get away from the kids and do couple things to make sure that when the kids are gone, you're still a couple. 2, schedule time for each other because you're not going to find time. It's not going to magically appear. You need to make sure it's there. 3, partake in each other's individual interests because it shows that you care and it gives you an opportunity to spend time with them in a different environment and see them in a different light. 4, nurture your common interests because, yes, you bonded over those to begin with, and they are going to be there to help keep you together in the future when the kids are gone. And finally, learn together because that is a super profound experience that gives you an opportunity to both grow together as well as develop common interests in a gazillion other things. As always, if you or someone you know happens to be going through something that's more than you can handle, please remember that there are professionals like myself who are available, able, and willing to help, and are even providing remote services who can assist with whatever you may have going on. So please figure out who those people are in your community so that if you need them, you can reach out and get the help that you need. And that is all we have for today. Good morning, world. Have an awesome day.